All right, guys, it's time for the Real Life Group message recap. This week we talked about the church in Philadelphia, and Jesus' encouragement to them was continue to hold fast, to run with endurance. He didn't have anything negative to say about them, but they were a faithful church. And because of that, he opened doors that no one could shut and shut doors that no one could open. And so we really honed in on that word endurance, because a lot of us are going through maybe seasons of our life where it's hard to continue, it's hard to keep going. And Jesus gives us the opportunity to have what I call finish line faith. Finish line faith. We talk about how God's will is always possible, but God's will doesn't always happen. And it's because a lot of times, well, there's a lot of various reasons, but many times we grow faint and we're spending our energy working on things maybe that are distractions, or we just grow weak at times. And so we talked about some things we need to learn if we want to have finish line faith. And the first thing we talked about were those open doors. We have to learn the difference, number one, between ambition and calling. See, many times we're spending all of our energy and we're running out of energy because we are trying to knock down doors that God never opened in our life. And our ambition is taking us places that our calling never invited us to. And so, are there areas of our life where maybe we have been going after out of ambition rather than the calling of God, trying to kick down doors that He never intended for us to open up? That can cause us to grow weary in those times. And so, are there areas of your life where you've done that, where your ambition is taking you places your calling never invited you to? I shared some stories of mine, missions trips that I just assumed I was going to go on, or, different things in our life where we assume we should do just because we can. And that's really the question we asked, is just because we can, does that mean that we should? Are there areas where you've had to wrestle with that? The second thing we talked about, if we want to endure and have finish line faith, is that we have to pre-decide our hard based on kingdom of God values, because there are hard things we're going to go through. Marriage is hard, but divorce is hard. Forgiveness is hard, but loneliness is hard. And so we have to pre-decide our hard, because we're going to encounter hard things, but we have to pre-decide beforehand. When we say our marriage vows, it's pre-decided ahead of time, because there are going to be times when we don't feel like it. So what are some areas for your life where you've either had to pre-decide hard and you're walking that out, or maybe you need to pre-decide some things in your life? And then finally, we talked about just choosing to make life great. We can choose that no matter what's going on the outside of us, that we can have, a good attitude, a good internal thing happening on the inside of us. And we can finish because Jesus said it is finished, and Jesus did the heavy lifting on the cross. And so, Philippians chapter 4, verse 4 says, "Rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I say rejoice." And that word endurance literally means cheerful consistency. And God's will is always possible, so we can have a cheerful consistency even in the midst of hard things, and we can have finish line faith. So I hope this message encouraged you, and I hope you can encourage one another right now with these words of encouragement that through Jesus, you can make it.